On this episode of Real Estate on the Rocks, we're going to talk about the power of free lead gen.
Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
Alrighty, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to you, whichever time you're listening to this. My name's Dave Snowberger, and I'm joined in the studio, as always, with my trusty sidekick, Marshall Tucker.
Hey, what's going on, people?
And across the table over here behind the glass, we've got the Butcher. James.
What's going
the
on?
Butcher Mendez.
Should have gone as Halloween as a butcher. Would have been awesome. Next year.
What would you go? Like an actual butcher with like an apron on and maybe a
white smock,
a cleaver and whatever else, or just kind of like carry the soundboarder with you and just like basically just like a big sign above your head says, "I forget to hit record."
I didn't forget. I forgot. I completely forgot. I did my process.
He's gonna blame me.
I did my process. Somebody messed up my process and was like, "Oh, do this, change that." And I was like, "All right."
It's because
red or green on.
I messed it up.
we had probably the biggest name we yet on our podcast, and we're going to wait because we have to re-record it now. But to get on this person's schedule, it's pretty hard to do. And so James has felt the wrath for about 3 weeks. I've not lifted my foot off his neck of giving him a hard time. So anyway, let's get into this most reliable free. What does that say? Never mind. The power of free lead gen. I'm going to go with this. The power of free lead gen. So we're going to give you a bunch of sources out here that you can use to help leverage lead generation. Mostly when you ask, what do you do for leads? You have a lot of people that beat their chest and say, I cold call, I call FSBOs, and I door knock. And that's just not for everybody, unfortunately. But if you can add those in, they certainly do work, and they work well. You have to do it more than once. You have to stay consistent about doing that. And so we're going to add these into it to supplement your lead gen that you're doing now. And hopefully, once again, you can build that leverage up to where you can utilize these resources and maybe find one that really works for you. And you can really stick to doing that consistently. And it would just provide you with enough leads that, to build your business. And that's what this is all about, building our business. So let's start building. Number one, Marshall, what is it?
Wear your name badge.
Why'd you say it like that?
Because I don't wear a name badge.
Well, we wear branded shirts.
Branded shirts. I think it's a little bit more professional, in my opinion.
Yeah. I like the branded shirts. I don't wear the name tag much anymore. I used to wear the name tag. I've gotten deals from wearing name tags. I've talked about those in the past. You'll have to scour all 100 episodes to go find that because I don't know where it's at. But the power of the name tag is real. And I would say after about 2 years of wearing the name tag, I think I lost it and I just never replaced it. But I did replace it with branded shirts.
I think you told me to take mine off.
Take that off. I think I told you look like a nerd. Take that off.
Is it what? You said wear it upside down?
That works for him, though. I know who you're talking about. He's a good guy, and that works for him. And he's even got me before. I was like, dude, your name tag's upside down. He's like, it worked.
Someone said that to me. It did happen unintentionally. Somehow the magnet, spun, and mine was a big state of Texas name badge.
With all the diamonds and frilly things on it?
Yeah, of course.
Dare you turn that upside down.
You got to stand it out. And so it was upside down, and they're like, "Oh, did you do that on purpose?" I was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, dang, no, I didn't mean to." I was like, that obviously worked unintentionally,
right?
But it stood out because obviously people want to help you out. Yeah. And so I had to.
And people always like, oh, you sell real estate? And it's like, what gave it away?
Oh my God. One of the things I got my name tag because I wanted it to be different than everybody else because I hate the same, everybody walking around with the exact same one. And then several people were like, "Oh, where'd you get it?" I'm like, I literally bought it so you won't wear it, or so anybody else won't wear it. And they were asking, and one person kept asking me and asking me and asking me. And I finally I think I pointed her in the right direction. I can't remember, but I purposely didn't answer her every single time because I didn't want her to then get it and be walking around the same office with the same name tag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you definitely had the right state on it with Texas because Texas looks a lot cooler than the state of California on your chest, But
debatable.
Do they make California name tags? Is there a state cooler than Texas out there that
I think he does.
Actually get away?
I don't know if he does, but I definitely know that there are
maybe Oklahoma because Oklahoma looks like the whole state looks like a cleaver, My sister,
or the boot,
yeah,
Louisiana,
yeah, the boot. All right. I don't want to say what Florida looks like. All right. So number 2 on this is social media humble brags. So wear your name badge. So the next one is the social media humble brag. That can really kind of work for you in your favor. Is realtors, your job is to stand out. Look at me, look at me, look at me. If you don't have some sort of an ego, if you don't have something like that, you need to engage in a little bit of that behavior, but keep it humble. So brag, but keep it right on the line of being humble. I was able to help my buyer buy this beautiful home. I was able to help my seller within 30 days get full price for his property, right? And so a lot of the stuff on there. And then you can brand yourself. If you have a picture of yourself, you can move it in to the picture of the humble brag, or maybe your logo that we had talked about before, design your logo, have all this. Use the right hashtags in your stuff, like sold and like mine, sell it with Dave, like hashtag sell it with Dave. You should get pretty much everything that I've ever sold, because that's what goes on there every single time, is sell it with Dave.
Or congratulating them, not saying, look what I did. It's just like, oh, congratulations on your new home and this and that, while including yourself obviously in there. And so everyone's like, oh yeah, that's awesome for them. And then they get tagged in it, so their friends see it. And so it becomes, you're highlighting them, but it kind of brings you along with it.
I like the more challenging closings too. Like if there was a lot of problems with it, or they had a disadvantage.
Well, you
of
don't
some
like them at the time because you're going through one right now, and I know you don't like it. So
yeah, but when it closes, that's the one. Those are the kind that I push out there to show that we overcame a challenge.
Right.
Yeah. Those are good.
Not just we stopped by a new build and look, we're under contract.
Yeah. That's what I like to do. Just swing by new builds. Swing by new builds. It's my client. I shut up and then boom, like just show up right
at the closing table. Like, oh man, that was some hard work.
Like I was complaining about one of my last clients. One of our last clients that I picked up from a referral, a very analytical guy, but I had to spend like 2 hours with him in the house. But I had never met them. They were from California. They bought the house sight unseen, brand new build, and basically I had to spend 2 hours with them to make it $500,000. You guys do the math, and I'm 100% commission, so it's just kind of like you do the math on that. And I'd spend 2 hours, and I was complaining an hour into it that I'm like, oh, this sucks. And I'm just like thinking about it. It's like, I'm getting paid, basically $7,500 an hour right now. So it's like, and it just made me put things back in perspective. Obviously, I don't get to keep all that money. It goes into the business, into reinvest, and it goes into this podcast, all into this podcast.
Every penny.
So knock on doors. That just doesn't mean door knocking, does it?
No, I mean, you can do the best ones. The easiest ones I found, especially starting out, were open houses. Or if I had a client that I was showing a property, like the last house, even leases, when I was first doing that, I talked to the neighbors and asked them like, oh, I have some clients are interested in, leasing the property. What's the neighborhood look like? Or, is anybody selling? Or, there's a lot of rentals in the area, just kind of picking their brain about that.
Yeah.
And it was so much easier than just going up to a door. And I had something to lead with, because I felt a little uncomfortable just knocking on a door saying, hey, I'm James. You want to buy or sell a house?
You take something with you? Really door hangers or something?
Door hangers worked real well.
And you print it out your business card on a little label, stuck it on there. That was pretty good.
I wish I would have thought of that before. That's so much better than actually inserting your business card and just getting those little printable labels and printing your business card on that.
That's perfect. If you don't know what James is talking about, is you can reach out to your title company, and they're allowed to do some branding with you, but they'll provide door hangers, and they'll be branded on one side and leave the branding to you on the other side. And so what James did was he went out, he basically printed his business card is what it was, and then just did the sticky labels right on top of these things. So he has them ready to go at any time, and he's done 100 of them, a couple hundred of them. And you can just grab 25 at a time and just know that you're going to go put all 25 out.
Yeah.
So that was pretty smart.
I'll post a picture of him on the on our group, Top Shelf Agents.
And all that really does is it invites people to the open house. And once, I had this the other day when we checked in on an open house, only people that came in were nosy neighbors. It's like, man,
perfect.
That's what you want. I'm sitting there, we're having a little mastermind with an agent. We're just kind of finding out why she's maybe struggling a little bit. And it was just kind of, hey, look, those people are interviewing for a job. That's the soft interview right there.
Yeah.
They're checking you out to see what you're doing to sell this person their neighbor's home. They might be really good friends with their neighbor also and report back to them. So your activity in the house, if you're just standing there like a bump on a log in the kitchen waiting them to circle back to you, or you don't try to collect their data by getting them to sign in or offer them something of value like the property flyer that is branded with your information on it, not just the home or definitely not the listing agents, but your information on it, you should be doing that. And so the potential sellers are thinking to do that. And one good thing, let me throw out a tip real quick, is anybody that comes into your open house right off the bat, the first question you should ask them is, what house is yours in the neighborhood to sell? I mean, that should be clear, because it establishes that conversation right there of, do they live in the neighborhood, or no, we're moving here from California, or we're moving here from Seattle, or whatever else, It's just kind of like, it establishes that right off the bat, and it gives you something to build on. So ask questions. Swap meets. I don't even know what that means.
Neither.
Swap meet. Well, they don't have those in. Maybe Texas? They don't have them in Texas, or have them very much. But like in California, it's huge. We have like the Pomona Fairgrounds. I mean, you have stuff for days. And so you can do multiple things. You can sell things. Right. You can set up like vendor tables, so awareness.
I'm aware what a swap meet is.
So I wasn't sure if they have like a ton here in here in the Austin area, but those are real good to kind of get your name out and stuff. You can have a booth. You can give stuff away. You can sell stuff.
Yeah. You're doing a booth this weekend, right?
I am doing a booth. Okay. Vet Fest. It's the 4th.
Yeah, you're gonna be cold out there.
I know. I'm gonna bring a hoodie.
Wait a minute.
I got my camouflage hoodie.
Marshall just just told you he's not going.
That's all right. I'll drag him out.
Yeah.
No, it should be a fun event. We're in a different same location, but different part of the vendor area. Yep. So it should be pretty good, by trees this time. And so we're going to set everything up. But they have it every year, and so it's a good one to get out into to the community and network with them and see people that that obviously need help in different areas.
I can't tell you how many times I go to events. I was just at an event for it was called Barktoberfest or something like that, but there was a booth set up by realtors, and they didn't interact with anybody. And I just like, why are y'all here? Why do you waste your money doing that stuff, or volunteer your time to go out there, and then you don't interact with anybody? You just sit there and expect them to come take a pen or a button or a sticker or some mints off your table or whatever else. We were just at EXPCon. In Vegas. And it was the same thing. You go through the vendor thing, and this was the same thing at Keller Williams when we did, whatever their event was called, family reunion or whatever, was that vendors didn't interact with you. The vendors that did interact with you and try to talk to you getting by usually had 3, 4, 10 people waiting to talk to them about whatever product they had. And it wasn't that the product was more interesting than the others. Some of them are. Some of them are. But it's just like the people who were just sitting in their chair, and maybe at the certain time when I saw them, they were tired from sitting on their feet. Yeah. I get it, However, like, they were doing nothing, just kind of like they weren't interacting with anybody. They were with themselves. Yeah. They were talking amongst themselves about certain things. Mm-hmm. And I know that if I go work an open house with you guys, I don't want to just sit there and shoot the shit with you the whole time and let the clients walk their house. I'm going to go try to get the client. I don't like wasting my time. Maybe that's just different, or maybe people are a little bit shy, or they got stuck there. They pulled the short straw and had to go do this event. But I would think that realtors are really in charge of their own careers and their own business. So if you're going to do something like that, that's the way you build business. Get out there and shake hands, kiss babies, do whatever you got to do to get in front of people, right? So.
Yeah, icebreakers are really good for that. Like, have things like we're going to
bring little mints.
I love those. Are good too. No, have things like games or something that people can interact with that help out. Like there's a local tarp company that we're going to partner with for stuff when we do events, and they have tarps where or a tarp that has different openings, and you can toss like different like footballs or little softballs through them.
Like, we're partnering with them, or
no? That was going to get one of the. We were going to interview them because we're doing the small business stuff, which is another thing we'll add on the list. But they have that kind of like fun thing to do with their tarps, and so you can get stuff like that. And you can do like cornhole or any kind of fun activity to bring people in so they're engaging, and then it kind of softens up the first initial touch or contact for them.
Nice. All right, so that was open houses, I guess. We just segued right into
Pete's, or swap meets, and then
you jumped right into open houses. So we'll jump past that. Obviously, everybody knows for sale by owners. For sale by owners are low hanging fruit. Those are people that already have decided they're going to sell their home. The statistics on selling your home for sale by owner is low. Mm-hmm. It's not very successful for people. There are people that sell their home for sale by owners in certain neighborhoods. They run quick. But I mean, if you run across one that's in a cul-de-sac and doesn't get a lot of foot traffic or drive-by traffic, they might have a little bit uphill battle. And a lot of times, like we went on a for sale by owner appointment last week, and she had talked about, I'm in Zillow. And I was like, okay, like I agree. Zillow is a great place to have your for sale by owner. However, there's not a lot of people that are going to respond to that. You know, a lot of times they're going to call their agents, and you've already said, really, you're not paying 3%. So a lot of the agents are not allowed to do this, and ethically they shouldn't do it. However, it's not going to stop them from redirecting their client's eyes to another property that is paying 3%.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's get out there, talk to the for sale by owners. One thing that we've been doing a lot lately is texting them. You know, I'm usually the one that's against the initial text. You know, go for the phone call, go for the phone conversation to build that rapport. But it seems to be that text is the more less intrusive.
Video text.
What are you doing, bro? Don't give away my secrets.
Shut the gun.
I thought, well, my bad.
Can you cut that?
Comes from
cut that out?
contribution. Can you cut that? Coming from contribution? No.
Yeah, video texts have been winning the days for us. So we've been sending over video texts, and that's been winning at, I say, a higher level than normal lately. And the thing is I can scream from the mountaintops that I have a 100% hit rate with for sale by owners with video text.
Yeah.
The 4 that I've sent a video text, I've listed and sold, and then we did get that one. So they're signing the contract. You know, though they might have already signed it, but we did get that one. So that makes 5.
Yep.
I could tell you this is the most successful thing I've done with for sale by owners. Nobody will do it.
No.
Nobody will do it.
I used the Google. I think I told the story.
Except for Ryan.
Google phone.
Except for Ryan.
Yeah. No, he's been doing pretty good with that.
Yeah.
But I recorded the video and I tried to send it through the Google Voice app, and it actually didn't send the video file. It just sent the picture of it, or the still image of the video. Oh man, the guy was like, "Who are you? Why are you sending me a picture of yourself?" And I was dying. I was like, "It's supposed to be a video. My bad." So but we had a great conversation afterwards. He just hit the market, so he's not there yet. But so following up with him, but it was funny. He got a good laugh out of it, and we're both kind of cracking up about the mistake.
Yeah. Pro tip on the video, man. If you're gonna do some video stuff and send it over, don't try to be fake. You know, don't record it till it's perfect, till you don't have any or like I talk and I'm always thinking as I speak. Mm-hmm. You know, anything that I talk about is never really planned, so I'm just kind of shooting from the hip all the time, and that's what draws my and plus, you know, my squirrel moments I have in mid conversation and things like that. That's just who I am. And then when they meet me, it's not much different from the thing I sent over. Ryan Baker was really good at this. We had a conversation about this one day, and he had heard me talk about this, so he called to kind of pick my brain on it, which was flattering. And I just kind of had talked to him, and then later on he sends over a video and freaking nailed it. Yeah. And I was like, it's 10 times better than anything I've ever done. Yeah. You know, and it's probably effective. You know, you talk to him more than I do, you know, so it's probably it's effective and it's working for him, you know, and you can do that. You can pre-record it and just throw it out there. You can make your own script and record it every time and just change out the names of the addresses, you know, but keep it under that 20 seconds, keep it under that 30 seconds and send it out and just see if they don't get a reply back. No worries.
I think he got one negative response back, and I was like, dude, send her care package and or like, you know, Tiff's treats or one of the other different care packages that are cookies. And he's like, that's a good idea. I'm like, yeah, she was upset. Send her something like, hey, it was nice speaking to you. Again, you know, soften the blow for it. And it's hard to be angry at somebody when they've just given you a gift, even when they were rude to you in the beginning.
Yeah, I've had nobody get mad at me or anything. It's hard to get mad at a guy with a handlebar mustache. But
tell him what she said. Our new listing said about the video. Why she liked it so much. Her impression of. Do you remember? Mm-mm. She was saying that she felt like she knew you and you were already great friends.
Yeah. I reminded her of her brother. Yeah. Right? And so, she felt like she already knew me, and I spoke to her just like we were friends. Yeah. And really, she commented on that yesterday, too, when we were at lunch with her, was just kind of not only the phone call, but that's what she said later on. She's like, it just seems like we've all been friends. Yeah. Like me and your team have been friends forever. Yeah. And we went in there's no expectations. Yeah. You know, and that really helps. And realtors that go in with the commission breath or this mindset of scarcity, it's just like, I know this lady. I've seen her behavior. I know that if she hires me, she could certainly fire me at any time. Yeah. You know,
she was close.
Yeah.
She's tough. She's a tough cookie, but she's...
Yeah. If I would have said the wrong political affiliation there, I was out.
But it's funny. You could see the difference when we first sat down and how she was like, oh, man, there's everybody here. To the end, it was like night and day difference. She was like completely comfortable with everyone, laughing and joking and just like you said, just great friends for a long time.
Yeah. All right. So moving on here. So those who are for sale by owners, don't be afraid of for sale by owners. They are not the big bad wolf. They're not sitting on the other side of the door getting ready to snap your head off if you contact them. They want to sell their home. They want to sell their home. They're no different from any other seller other than they're unrepresented. And I think it's a cry for help.
Yep.
So next one is Master Craigslists.
Yeah.
Not Craigslists, not singular. Craigslist. Master Craigslist ads, they still work. There's still a large population that looks at Craigslist, know how to do it. You can watch videos. There's people that made them. The videos from 2011 are just as good as the videos that people are pumping out now. But you can stay consistent and build also top of mind awareness there, and people see you posting over and over again. And they don't have to be your listings. If you're hurting for listings or hurting for content to post for something for sale, anybody in the office should let you really kind of repurpose their stuff to get out on Craigslist. And I know that's what I did. I built my career off Craigslist ads, was doing the stuff for leasing. Remember, I talk about how much leasing. I generated almost 100% of my business from Craigslist ads. And so I still like Craigslist ads. Yeah. And we've had some people come into the team, and I'll go in there and I'll actually go back and search 2-3 years of ads that worked for me, take the copy and paste it into a Google Doc, send it over to that new agent and say, run this ad right here. And all of a sudden, in 24 hours, their phone starts ringing. Yeah. And it's worked every single time. So if you want to copy one of those Craigslist ads, I can hook you up with that. Just reach out to me at Top Shelf at 88000. And when I ask who this, just put in their Craigslist, and I'll send you some of the ads that worked for me for lead gen. And basically what it was I was looking for leasers and to convert them into buyers. And so I would have that conversation right off the bat. And then I was doing so many that I had too many leads coming in on the leasing side that I would sell the leads off for leasing for $50 a pop. Nice. And so, it had to be, I wouldn't make more than $50. How's that? Yeah. And so typically they're paying 30% commission or something like that. Yeah. And so I would want 10% of their commission. And so, but I wouldn't take anything over $50, And so people were up for it. So I was just shelling out leads, and every once in a while I would come in and there'd be, $30 on my desk, $50 on my desk, people telling me, hey, I owe you $120. I converted all 3 of those leads, and those were typically the ones that I couldn't convert over to whatever, but they also went into my database too. Yeah. And so, and then I would explain that like, hey, more than likely I'm going to keep marketing them, by the way. Yeah. Because I found out early in the game, just like me, that agents struggle. What do? 80% of them hop out of the business, right? Yeah. 8 out of 10 agents were out of there. So of course I'm going to continue to market those people, you know, and I sold some of them homes later on. Mm-hmm. So, nice. Craigslist is a great resource for you to leverage. So anybody that says Craigslist ads are garbage, they're just not doing them right. It's kind of like I say Facebook ads are garbage, but I know that I'm not doing it right. It's just my default to say that I don't know how to do something, so I'm going to call it garbage. So referrals, obviously referrals is B2B referrals, man. Get out there, hustle. We're doing new office space in another town, and I can't wait to get in there because I'm going to get cookies, right? And I'm going to get cookies and a card or something tied to them with our business cards on there, and I'm going to walk the whole square and say, hey, look, we're the new realtors. We're not new to town. We're just new to the street. If you ever need anything from us, let us know. And I mean, that really means anything. If you need to move some furniture, if you need to do this, if you need to do that, just like we can help out. Your coffee machine breaks. We've got an awesome Nespresso machine down here. Come get a good cup of coffee on us, and just really have those conversations. And it just creates top of mind awareness in your local market. Mm-hmm. But it's really just asking them referrals, like who, just flat out ask. I don't know why people are so scared to do this, but flat out ask, like, who do you refer all your business to? Mm-hmm. And really that self-eliminates right there. It's like, oh, my sister's a realtor. It's like, bam. Yeah. Give me my cookies back.
Yeah. SWAT.
Yeah, right. And so building your referrals, Marshall's done really good with building referrals with agent to agent referrals. Yeah. And so give me a little touch on that, Marsh.
Well, my head was somewhere else right now. My head is, having a business in Georgetown, I know a lot of business owners, so I've been able to leverage a lot of those friendships, a haircut guy who owns a tent shop, the movers, a taxi company, and different people, and basically I'm their go-to realtors. So when they come across, they're going to refer me, and I do the same for them on Facebook. I'll pump them up. I'll like them. Agent to agent, same thing. You got to be online there. You got to be present. You got to see it as soon as it pops up. Jump in there. Send you a video text to the person, because everybody there has their hand up and they're just waiting for the agent to drop the referral into their lap and here you go close it. No, you got to go after it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of agents are turned off these days by people picking up the phone and just calling them. They're getting 100 phone calls
Get
from
like bastard with
thirsty
calls, right?
realtors. But if you just send the video message, let them watch it on their time, it works the same way as a for sale by owner.
Yeah, for sure. I see that a lot too, and I am worried about that when I refer somebody and then I see them pop in and say, hey, thanks, Dave. Hey, so-and-so, that needs a referral. I'm here as a resource for you or whatever, something really freaking lame. And it makes me upset, and it's a lot of times I'll not upset, like mad, but just kind of like, oh, come on, man, you can do better than that. I just referred you, stand out, And so I'll contact the person and say, hey, and do the thing I want them to. And it's a coaching moment. It's an uninvited coaching moment sometimes. However, they're going to get it. It's like, pull open Facebook Messenger and say, hey, it's Dave here. I think you should do a video just like this and send it to this person and tell them that you're here to help. This seems to work for us. You need to do this. Not just say, hey, I'm here as a resource. That's just inviting people to never call you. To not stand, it's lame. It's lame. You have to stand out in every aspect of this business. Mm-hmm. And so, I usually do that. I call them the uninvited coaching moments. And I just, a lot of times I'm like, oh, is that my ego getting in the way that I have to call and coach this person? Maybe they don't want the referral. Who doesn't want a referral? Who doesn't want the business?
I don't know.
That's the way I look at it. So anyway, website community pages. Website could be Facebook. So there's Facebook community pages. We already touched on this, I think. No? Maybe?
Not really. I think we
Maybe
skipped over funny and engaging also.
Oh, okay. What?
We skipped over funny and engaging.
Okay. Well, talk on the mic and then.
We skipped it.
So website community pages, those are like the, Austin for sale, beg, borrow, steal, whatever those sites are, whatever else, it's like,
Nextdoor.
Yeah. A lot of times we've been running these ads in there and then they kicked us out of a lot of them, out of those groups or put out bans saying you will be removed from the page if you promote real estate. Realtors started really getting targeted. I know in the Georgetown group, I did something where it was Wilco Eats, where I could go out and I went to, this is where you go for, tacos. This is where you go for barbecue. This is where you go. And at the end, I was like, and this is who you call for a great realtor. And it was me, right? And just that word right there got me booted from the page.
Wow.
And I know all three of the admins. One lives in my neighborhood. One actually works for the board of realtors. And then one of them is, I don't know who the other one is. Do I? No, who cares? But, I contacted all three of them at different times, and each one of them told me that it was a realtor post, and then they received multiple complaints on me. And the one from the board knows them. I know him well. He's just like, yeah, dude, because they were all realtors that complained on you. And I was like, what a bunch.
Because they can't put their spammy ads in there?
Yeah.
They're the ones who ruined it.
Yeah, but whatever. It still got played like something like, 900 times before they took it down. So
that's funny. Realtors are probably some of the worst with reporting each other.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. That's scarcity. Scarcity runs rampant through this business. And if you could just change your mindset, which I
never
would have that stuff.
Never would have thought that. Like first starting or like looking in, because I saw a bunch of ads or posts and stuff from agents and all over the place and didn't think anything of it. Just out there hustling. But man, you get in the industry and you just see people just every chance they get trying to snitch on somebody else. Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do this.
Your letters are too small on your sign.
Yeah.
I've left almost every single realtor group there is, and which is not the smartest move for me because I have a podcast that I want to get out to more realtors, so I could definitely be in more groups and offer my advice and redirect them and gain top of mind awareness, and bring them back over to our page to listen to our podcast. However, I can't take the constant bickering between realtors. I can't take realtors throwing themselves under the bus, not themselves, but their other, their competition or whatever under the bus, or people that try to be innovative and, hey, what do you think about this? And you get these crappy remarks about how it doesn't work. It's like, well, what are you doing to stand out? It just kind of, whatever, man. I know that, people say things about our podcast, and I know those people. And I know the people who have said it, like, oh, so-and-so says this about your podcast. I was like, because so-and-so wants to do a podcast and they're just not doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing other than turning 3 microphones on and hitting record and then going back and editing it, I mean, and then just
simple,
hit
record.
Hit
Yeah,
record.
it's
It's very simple, James. The Butcher. Nice stab, Marshall. That was a good one. So, ask questions, community events, referral companies. So, Marshall has tripped over referral companies. Let's give us a little bit of insight there, Marshall.
Instead of getting agent-to-agent referrals, there's actually companies out there already getting the referrals and fixing them up for you and selling them off. So about, was it 35%, I think is the average.
Right.
But just like OpCity.
Which you don't have to pay up front. It's not like a
Right.
subscription
You
service
pay
like
it at
Zillow,
closing.
right? You pay $800 a month and get 2 lease leads, right?
You
Like
close
Zillow.
it, then you get paid. Everybody
Cool.
gets paid.
Everybody gets paid. So that's 30% off, but then if you have a split with your broker or you're on a team.
It works like
whatever,
any
it could
other
be-
referral.
Right. So, I mean, it's just a lesser amount of money. A lot of times they're what, pre-scrubbed leads they're giving
Pre-scrub
you? Yeah.
fills the gaps.
Yeah. And so if you're making $2,500 off each one of those, and you do it for a month, I mean, you're making $10,000 a month, that's $120,000 a year. It's pretty good. After taxes, you're looking at, what, 70,
Mm-hmm.
$80,000 a year. I can live off that. I do live off that. Yeah, but if you're doing it consistently. So, I mean, if you're having a really hard time, and it might just be a way to jumpstart your career also and get more deals. We talk about a lot where agents don't want to do things or take a less commission or things like that, which I think is the goofiest thing in the world.
Always
because
that older agent who's been in for years who just slams on new agents. Oh, taking all your money, all this stuff. Oh my God.
Usually they're the ones out there doing it.
The team argument was up this morning again, I mean, which that's it just pops up a lot. The team argument, where do you buy leads, your CRM, or the iPhone Android question, those are questions we see a lot of times that go over and over. But today was the team. Should I join a team? I'm thinking about joining EXP, should I join this team, or I think about joining Keller Williams. Should I join this team? And boom, once again, I mean, it was like 2 minutes into it and I already had like 35 comments.
Yeah.
And so I'm like reading through them and I like getting everybody's opinion on that and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was mostly the veterans in there that think they know everything that were just slamming teams hard, and I just kind of like, dude, if I had the opportunity to join a team when I was a new agent, that would have helped out so much and would have helped me in my career a lot faster. I mean, I really had to beat my head against the wall the first year. And I think all of us in this room did. It was rough. Like we questioned it. We questioned our capabilities. We questioned, are we good enough to do this job? We compared ourselves with other people. Like why is it so easy and effortless for this person over here? When all that's BS, and it was just kind of, if I could have just joined a team and plugged right into their systems, that would have been perfect,
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about EXP right now too, is that I'm able to do that. Like we've picked up a teammate really in Florida now. We've got somebody we've got 3 different cities. We're able to bring them in and just plug into our system. They don't have to go by Snowberger Realty Group. They don't have to do SRG Austin, but they do business with us. And then when we create leads for them, we can bring them in and plug right into our system. And so it's really, really easy. I wasn't able to do that with Keller Williams. I had to be really hyper specific to the area that I sell in, and even if I was across town and I met an agent that wanted to join the team, but they're in South Austin over here, wasn't really able to do. It was a little bit harder to do, since we're so centralized of where we work. But now to grow the team and scale, EXP's made it a lot easier for us. So what do you think about teams, Marshall?
Well, they're all right. You don't know what's going on. You can join one.
I joined one time.
I joined one once.
Real quick, some of those referral companies that we were talking about, if you're looking them up, it's going to be OpCity, Mellow Home, Agent Pronto, UpNest, Christian Real Estate Network, and HomeLight, just to name a few.
Okay, well, that's really good information. So, I've even joined Agent Pronto, and they've kicked me over. I get cool stuff from them all the time, and since I do a lot of land, I guess I win those out a lot faster than people, or when I accept them. And to me, land deals are easy. It's typically you just find out about the land, find out about the restrictions, and get going on it.
Yep.
And so usually it's even if it's a hot market for land, it's not the same as residential where I have to go in a neighborhood and I have to compete, and we're in multiple offers. Like you've been on the market for 125 days. How do you have multiple
The day
offers?
I submit my offer,
on
3
Tuesday,
others come in.
before noon, you got 2 offers. Oh, come on. I think realtors are freaking full of it on that sometimes. And
Cracks me up.
yeah, there's no way to prove them wrong. It's just a hunch I have, So my distrusting personality I have. But what else here? I think that's about it for the day. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. At this point, we're just rambling. My name's Dave Snowberger. I really do appreciate you listening. If you can, go ahead and smash that 5-star button, the subscribe button, leave a 5-star review. Just rant and rave about how great we are and how we've helped you with your career launch and how you're making millions of dollars. And this Real Estate on the Rocks has changed your life. So
Save me.
if not, just text us if you need us for anything at Top Shelf at 88000. Remember, we are EXP agents. We do operate brokered by EXP. It is a fantastic brokerage. There's a lot of good brokerages going on right now. We chose this model. We liked what we saw. If you want us to share that with you, just hit join EXP, all one word, 288000. And then lastly, Michael Harrell. We always have to end with Michael Harrell. He is saving a deal for us right now. This guy is legit. He's the real deal. Holyfield with guaranteed rate. You can reach him at Magic Mike at 88000. Marshall, tell him goodbye.
I'm out.